Hello, I am Orange Cat, and this is my analysis for why I necessarily didn't really like the Adventure Time finale. I know that when it came out, I released a quick review on it, but here I can more get my points together and really analyze it more than just, shooting out some quick ideas. So, first, I'd like to say there were some good moments in it again. Like, the music was pretty good. I mean, with Adventure Time, you usually do get pretty good music. And But at the same time, though, I feel like it was lacking in ways. Like, first, like, I can understand the concept of the framing device, how 1,000 years later, these are the reincarnations of Finn and Jake, this Shermie and Beth, I believe were their names. Problem is, Shermie was just unbearable as a character. Like, he was only in short doses, but at the same time, it was just, please stop talking, I just want to get to the actual plot here. And it's just his character, like, and I know he's voiced by the boy who plays Adam Goldberg in The Goldbergs, and I like him in that role, but it was just too shrill, maybe here in this role. Also, I just hated how the whole gum war ended up being kind of a false plot in a way. Like, yeah, you have a lot of posturing, standing around, and really if you think about it this way, the first half of this special, nothing really happens. Like, yeah, you get like kind of Princess Bubblegum and Gumball kind of reaching amends, but not really because he gets killed off by Aunt Lolly. It was just pretty, but yeah. And also how like Finn and Fern kind of solved their plot. Problem is that was very quickly done, and it felt like it had to be quickly done because it's so much they wanted to do, so much they had to solve in this finale that big plot lines like that kind of had to be rushed through, not really given much time or care whatsoever. Also, more about the gum war, just the concept of like also how they had to throw every character in there. Like, I get it, it's the finale. You want people to remember. You want people who like certain characters to be happy, see their character get their ending. But at the same time, there was just way too many throwbacks. And I liked how, though, they were very subtle in the beginning, like the BMO's, I guess, house at the beginning, how, oh, Shermie's wearing Marceline's shirt from I Remember You, and all these tiny little gags that if you really stop and see the Easter eggs, like, oh, I remember that. They're throwing all these together, and it's not really getting in the way of the plot. But then when you have kind of Maja being briefly brought back, you have the tandem elephant from the limit being brought back. Almost every episode was mentioned in some way in this finale, and it got too much, especially considering you had 44 minutes to solve everything. But again, yeah. And now getting into the Golb part, like, you had to address Golb. And really, the only action that happens in this episode relates to this Golb backstory. And really, it was just, I understand it. I get it, like why they did it and why they did it, how they did it. But they learned nothing from the fan criticism over the Orglorg saga because all the monsters looked like H.P. Lovecraft rejects. Like, I mean, I can understand if you're like, oh, it's dark and it's mysterious, but I mean, there's no real creativity put here. It's just, let's throw some eyes, let's throw some tentacles on stuff and call it a day. There's very little actual creativity going on here, and it shows in this. Compared to something fully coolly, which actually takes time to think out monster design. I mean, and that's something that's also airing Cartoon Network, albeit Adult Swim, but I mean, it just feels like more care was put there than into this finale with regard to monster design because the show pretty clearly didn't care about that. The show really just wanted to show personal relationships between characters and stuff. Oh, and that's gonna get to the most controversial part of this video. I did not like how they did bubbling. I'll save my specifics for later. I'm just gonna say it has a lot more to do with Princess Bubblegum's character specifically, more than anything else. But yeah, and going into that, like Princess Bubblegum learns nothing in this. You can argue, oh, she kind of realized that Gumball had the same dreams and ambitions that she did, but it never came full circle. Like you have it towards the end, like, wow, he actually is a lot like me. I'm finally realizing that I'm actually similar to him. Like, we hate each other, but I kind of screwed him over before he screwed me over. Wow, maybe he's actually not a horrible guy, and maybe he's just a whole lot like me. You know, how I'm kind of headstrong and all this other stuff. But like before you get this like moment, you have Aunt Wally killing Gumbald, and I've seen where fans are like, "Oh, it's because he's planning to trick her and kill her." But I mean, at the same time, I think we've been a better direction for him to actually make amends with each other and have him alongside Princess Bubblegum help destroy Golb. I think that would have been a perfect ending and a perfect way to come full circle of Princess Bubblegum's character. But really, this whole thing, she learns nothing. Like, especially how it's like, I want to start this war. Marceline's like, please don't start this war. Finn's like, don't start this war. Princess Bubblegum's like, I have to start this war. And then you have this whole thing with Golb, and then it's like, yeah, you do all this other stuff, then you get to Golb, and because you're a warmonger, even your girlfriend has to point out, has to assume you did something wrong for this to happen. Like even she subconsciously is like, my girlfriend's a fucking tyrant. That's basically what she came to on that. Okay, so that being said, I guess I have to go into bubbling, don't I? Okay, I can understand the whole everyone needs to have a happy ending. Everything wants to have a happy ending with this. So, like, Marceline definitely deserves it, arguably more than any other character in the show. If you've watched even any part of the show, you realize how much she's suffered. So naturally, you want her to get a happy ending. I have yet to see anyone who actually didn't like Marceline as a character and want her to have like a really happy ending at the end. My contention again, like I said, is with Princess Bubblegum as a character. You have a character that's attempted genocide, really didn't apologize for it, and whenever she starts kind of getting punished, she's able to take an easy way out. Like you have the whole arc of she getting beat fairly, like not even cheating, in an election by the King of Ooh, and she's like kind of out of commission for a few episodes. She cries a couple times, and she gets her job back miraculously at the end of Stakes because the plot said so, even though she really didn't learn much in Stakes. Hell, the only time she actually seemed like she might be learning something in that arc was in Varmints when she broke down crying towards the end. And also how it's like I said in the cooler when she just without giving any rational reason why, just tries to genocide the fire people, has already presumably killed like half of them. And then you have Flame Princess Phoebe like rightfully pissed off at her, and then like right when Flame Princess was this close to killing her, she forgives her, and all Princess Bubblegum had to do was just unplug her cameras, which really doesn't show any improvement because like I think the next time she's even shown an episode, she's already using binoculars to spy on her own people again. So what's to say she didn't reestablish the surveillance system that she had in those episodes? And it was like a big complaint about the last few seasons was that like how a lot of people complain about late season Simpsons. One of the big complaints is about how much they're trying to make Lisa intentionally make her likable, but every time they try to make her likable, she ends up even less likable as a character. That's what I felt like with Princess Bubblegum. And I feel like the whole thing with Marceline was more of a desperate ploy for likability than an actual statement about LGBT rights and stuff or representation. Because you have Marceline, extremely likable character. Virtually all segments of the fan base at least like Marceline to some component. And then you have Princess Bubblegum, who's generally disliked, at least among like the frequently used characters. And it's like, how do we make her likable? Oh, associate her with the most likable character. And this is actually a pretty old sitcom ploy to try to raise the likability of the character to try to associate more likable characters. So So then you have all these episodes, like season 8 through 9, where Marceline was, Princess Bubblegum was near, where Princess Bubblegum was, Marceline was always near. And it became pretty obvious that they were trying to associate the two together. And you can argue, oh, this whole thing the whole time was about representation. That's just my take on it. That they were just trying to set up Princess Bubblegum's likable, especially considering that they were planning the last season to basically make Princess Bubblegum the main character. It's just a frustration that I had. Like Princess Bubblegum, especially compared to how Finn, like rightfully got punished for that whole stuff he pulled with Flame Princess and Ice King at the end of season 5. So he had this like soul searching quest for a season and a half. And although I think it was like prodding and kind of depressing to watch, I can understand from an artistic and logical standpoint why they did that and what the reason for that was. So I'm going to stand by it at least on those merits. And if we use that as a measuring stick with risking those two lives, getting a season and a half of moping around and depression and facing your own folly as a person. And you have Princess Bubblegum, who actually in the cooler did the same thing. She tried killing Flame Princess. She used the Ice King by shooting ice into the lava to make that happen. And she just has to unplug her security system. That's it. And then at the end of the day, you just have Finn. And you just really feel like there really was no character arc, or that the writers were desperately trying to hurry a character arc in order just to make her likable. And that's just a pet peeve I had, especially, like I said, very obvious last few seasons. The goal of the last few seasons was to build up Princess Bubblegum as being likable, not as a character. And that's why I'm not so gung ho about her having arguably the happiest ending of all the characters alongside Marceline. Because you have Finn kind of end up single, which I can understand, especially considering how much time he spent looking for a girlfriend in his love quest, you know. Well, at least he didn't pepper spray a GameStop employee, so at least Finn developed like that, I guess. Uh, and I'll and before I leave, I have a couple other small complaints I had. One, I'm not sure if he got killed off in a recent episode, but where was Cousin Chickle? Like, yeah, there's Gumball. Aunt Lolly was there, but I was half expecting him to be some secret ploy, like he was gonna sneak up from behind and snipe someone, but he never appeared. And I might have missed some detail in a previous episode, so that'd be understandable if I did. Another thing, didn't 4 episodes ago Finn get a sword powered by Satan himself? You would think that, hey, we're facing the god of Mars here. Maybe Satan's powers can help us. And further along with the Satan thing, I thought, especially with the plot line of Marcy and Hudson went, that it was setting up that he was going to have some involvement to try to protect his daughter in the finale, which would have been a great way to really come full circle, especially since I think the episode Marcy and Hudson really didn't do a great job of that. Like, it did an okay job, but he didn't like he just showed, oh, I'll handcuff myself because I don't want to embarrass my daughter, not like, yeah, I'll kill everyone in fucking sight if they criticize my daughter, which you would imagine that he would get to that point of. So I was actually expecting a moment in the end where Marceline got in trouble because she was trying to save Princess Bubblegum, and then like her dad comes out of nowhere and just fucks up that monster, fucks up Golb, which I thought would have been arguably even better to do than the way they did it. I mean, like, and also like, hey, we're facing Gumball the Sword war. Wait, Satan is literally on our side. We're all okay with Satan. Why doesn't someone summon Satan or Hunson, Satan Hunson, same person, and basically get him to bring like a giant ass demon army to take on fucking Gumball? Just imagine like standing there before the war, all these fucking ugly ass demons, and then you have like Gumball and all his troops, and like the second they see him, they just turn and run. That'd been amazing. That would just been hilarious and hysterical, and probably something they should have logically did. I mean, they had an easy route to win, but they just didn't take it. Oh, one more, arguably my biggest criticism of this, I can't believe I forgot this, was towards the middle with the framing device of BMO talking to Shermie and Beth. You had BMO talk about, oh, this is how Ooh ended. And then you get to the part where it's the end of the gum war, and Shermie and Beth are like, wait, that was very uneventful. Why'd you tell us this part? And Beam was like, oh no, next one I'm telling you is how Ooh got destroyed. So right there, you're like, okay, you're foreshadowing Golb finds a way to destroy everyone. He kills everyone. And at the end, you have this beyond saccharine ending. And then Shermie and Beth rightfully called out Beam. I was like, you said everyone got destroyed. What the fuck? And then Beam's like, oh, whoops, I told it wrong. I just feel like you're intentionally misleading the audience to make the ending a surprise. Keep the ending a mystery. Well, you could have just not had him bring back the framing device and just kept on the story and bring him back to the end, without you saying, "Oh, it specifically got destroyed." Because the beginning, you're just talking about, oh, this was the big epic gum war to explain how stuff kind of got like this. But to a degree, just seemed like that he would have been accurate. It's just like you're intentionally misleading the audience to make the ending a surprise. And yeah, that's really my whole laundry list of complaints I had about the Adventure Time finale. If you have anything to comment about what I said, please leave a comment below. If you like this video, if you want more content, please subscribe. Of course, please hit that notification button. I love you guys. I am Orange Cat, and that is